gentlemen, another episode of Talk Homies. Dustin Plates,
yes.
Mango Hassan as usual. And guess what today is? The day after WrestleMania 31.
It's the aftermath.
It is the aftermath.
So we had to shoot today. We just had to. Complete WrestleMania episode. We're going to run through every match.
Yes.
We're going to try to make it as quick as possible.
Yes. By the way, what did you think of WrestleMania?
I loved it. Loved WrestleMania.
I thought it was excellent. Great show. Bravo.
Yeah, they did it.
Bravo.
They did great. They did great. You know, now the WWE network has been in for a full year now, so they got everything worked out.
Yeah.
And putting on some good shows.
Yes.
You know? They made up for Fastlane last month.
They definitely made up for Fastlane.
So, I think they made Fastlane cheesy on purpose, so WrestleMania felt that much better.
Right.
But anyway, first match was a tag team match for the Fatal 4-Way. Cesaro and Tyson Kidd retained their titles.
Yes.
I thought it was a good match.
Yeah, very good match.
Originally, I wasn't feeling it. I felt like Los Matadores or whatever, Luchadors or whatever they are. I felt like they didn't even have a chance to win it. But then, when you see why they were in the match, it kind of started to make sense. Like, you have four teams. Tyson Kidd and the Usos, they've had so many matches already that it would have been like, oh, we've already seen this match.
Right. So,
it made sense to have, four more, you got four tag teams, twice as many people as usual, and I think it legitimized Cesaro and Tyson Kidd as a tag team.
They're a great tag team, by the way. I think. I'm not really feeling Cesaro wearing headphones.
I felt like they were kind of forced together, so they were kind of uncomfortable at first.
Yeah.
And we talked about it a little bit when we talked about Fastlane, how we didn't think that they would make a great tag team.
Right.
But now I can see it, like they're doing great things.
Oh yeah,
as a tag
the
team.
chemistry is all there,
Yeah.
And Natalya coming out in that stuff she be wearing, Jesus man.
Yeah, and Cesaro, he just killed it with ring awareness. Like he legitimized himself as a wrestler altogether. Right. Not to say that he wasn't legitimate, because he's always been just a great singles competitor. But he really showed what he can do. Was great match. Just a great match all around. I was a little bit disappointed in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. It makes sense that the Big Show would win it. But I'm kind of like, really? That's going to be...
My thing is this. He should have won it last year, too.
He should have.
You know what I mean?
He's the closest thing to Andre the Giant.
And like I said before, Antonio Cesaro winning it last year and, the whole Paul Heyman thing, and then it was nothing. But now, as the...
I will be happy with Big Show winning it if Big Show gets a serious push.
Yeah.
Like, the dude won it. And a lot of people are like, it's not really a match that counts. But to me, it's like, it's a match that only happens once a year. To me, it's just as rare as like the Royal Rumble or Money in the Bank. Like, you win this match, you need to be getting a serious push now. Because you're the only person that won this match this year. And nobody will win it until next year. So I think they need to really give Big Show a push.
Plus Big Show's,
maybe
he ain't no spring chicken. So
maybe he could sign up with Paul Heyman or something.
They need to give him some kind of push.
He needs to get a push for real. Maybe he'll go after the U.S. title now that Cena's got it, because they've had a rivalry in the past. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe Big Show will take it back from him WrestleMania.
And I was about to say, Cena beat him for the U.S. title. Cena's first title.
Maybe possibilities. So and that would be cool.
Right.
The first match of the actual WrestleMania was the Intercontinental title match. It was a ladder match. The 7 guys. We did a whole 20-minute thing last week or 2 weeks ago, talking about how we ranked them all. And we said Daniel Bryan was the best chances to win it, and the dude ended up winning it. We both said we wanted R-Truth, but you kind of felt like he wasn't gonna win. He wasn't gonna win that shit.
No, I was kind of hoping for
any of those guys
to retain the title too.
I could have seen any of those guys walking out with the title, but not R-Truth. So, so that was cool. Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton.
Great match.
I went in. I wanted Seth to win. I like Seth Rollins. I liked him since he was with the Shield. Before they were the good Shield, and they were still the bad guys. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose were two of my favorite wrestlers, in that crop of guys that had just started, those two and Cesaro, I've been, saying those three guys are some of my favorite young wrestlers. And so I really wanted to see Seth Rollins pick up the victory. And I'm not really a big Randy Orton fan. I've always said I don't really like him. But my respect for Randy Orton grew. I mean, the RKO after he pushed the dude up off his shoulder, it was beautiful.
That right there, that finish was absolutely
beautiful.
Perfect.
And I went from being a little bit of a Randy Orton hater to being like, wow, respect for Randy Orton. Like, I didn't realize he was that good. I usually don't really pay attention to Randy Orton's matches. I really don't care about him that much. To me, he's in that same group as John Cena is, where it's like, okay, he's a wrestler, but I don't really like him that much. And to see him, I mean, that was just an incredible match. And those dudes got some ring chemistry.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they put on a show. It's hard to say which match was the best because there's so many good ones. But man, like when I go from hating somebody to immediately respecting him because of one match, to me, I'm like, that has to be one of the top matches. It was beautiful. So
after that, I'm hoping Randy Orton gets the that push that he deserves.
Yeah,
because phenomenal match last night.
It was amazing. I totally geeked out during the whole Terminator segment when they were bringing out Triple H. I mean, I was sitting in a room with a bunch of dudes that had no idea what was going on. And I heard the Terminator thing. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I know they just, inducted Arnold Schwarzenegger to the Hall of Fame. And now they got him, like, in on this entrance.
That had to be one of the...
It was so ill.
That entrance was ill, man. I mean...
So ill.
Floating
they
out
had
from
all
the
the
stage.
Statues. They had like a bunch of statues, and then they had some real dudes with machine guns and shit. This dude's coming up with skulls and a laser eye.
I mean, that was absolutely probably it's top 3 best entrances. Period.
Triple H has been known to pull out no stops when it comes to the entrances, and the dude's in charge, so he can make whatever entrance he wants to for himself, and it was amazing.
Right.
And, I'm not even really a huge Terminator fan, but I remember Terminator from my childhood. And when I seen that, I geeked out. I was like, yo, this is amazing. This is so cool. And nobody knew what was going on. I had to explain to this 7-year-old kid what Terminator is. And it was so good. It was just so good. The match itself, Triple H versus Sting. I kind of felt it. I kind of didn't.
The match was good. The outcome. I mean, after... What was the handshake about?
Yeah, to me, the whole bringing out DX was kind of cool. Bringing out NWO was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I was kind of afraid for them. Like, these guys are kind of old. They might actually get hurt.
Bust a hip or some shit. When Kevin Nash went down, I was like, oh boy.
Yeah.
He started clutching his leg. Like, not again, man.
Wrestling scripted, and, these guys are really good at pretending to be hurt, but that dude might actually be hurt.
Right.
And for me, to me, the cheesiest part of the night was the bat slicing through the sledgehammer. I didn't get that. Shatter the sledgehammer, have shards of wood break off or something. Yeah. But cutting clean through.
A straight cut, like...
It was so smooth. Like, you could see both ends of it. It just looked so smooth.
Like he had a saw or something at the end of the bat.
You can rub it on your face and it's not going to bug you because it's so smooth.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
That was a little much, but...
But the rest of the match was good.
The match was good.
I thought 100% that Sting was going to win. Just because it's his first ever match in the WWE. Like, this has been waiting. This is a decade and a half. People were waiting to see this dude wrestle in the WWE.
Right. And all that. For him to come there and lose.
Yeah.
And the handshake after. What the fuck was that?
So to me, I'm thinking maybe they got more plans for Sting in the future. Maybe he is going to be in more matches. Because he needs to win at least one match in the WWE.
Yeah.
Like, I get it now. When they brought out DX and NWO, there's no way that WWE is going to let their biggest staple lose to the other biggest staple. Like, to me, that's just never going to happen in the WWE. You put DX against NWO. NWO was a product of a whole other company. DX was the product of the WWE. So, of course, they're going to have Triple H and his guys win.
But the funny part, X-Pac, he's stuck at the crossroads, wasn't he? in a way.
He should. He
for all you true wrestling fans,
he could have been a turncoat halfway through the match.
You know,
took off the shirt. Was it
NWO or something?
He could have. Yeah, I mean,
back in his days when he was 6 Pop.
He didn't know what side he wanted. Yeah. But he came out with DX, and it was cool. You know, Shawn Michaels showed up. It was cool.
That was a good part right there. Nobody expected somebody to come in there, you know.
Nobody expected that.
So,
yeah, it was a good match. It was all right. And, you know, the handshake at the end, okay, whatever. Seal the deal. That chapter is over with now. Hopefully they do something else with Sting.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying, all that hype for that. I mean,
yeah.
I just hope something's going to continue.
Sting has to at least win a match.
Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. The next match, the Divas match, I was kind of disappointed in. Everybody knows I'm not a gigantic Divas fan, but I respect them as wrestlers, just as I feel anybody else should. And I've been noticing, as I've been saying on these episodes, that I feel like Nikki and Paige had the best rivalry for weeks. I mean, they were having a match every week on Raw. And to me, it was the best match sometimes. Like, their matches were great. Any kind of wrestling that you look forward to seeing, you was going to see in that match. They were going to do power moves. Mm-hmm. They do some agility moves. They jump off the top rope, submission moves, diving out of the ring, whatever. They do it all. Mm-hmm. And I was expecting to see something over the top because I feel like AJ Lee is an amazing diva. Paige is a great diva. And you got the Bella Twins that are sisters. They, you know, I was expecting to see something over the top. Mm-hmm. But to me, those matches from the past couple weeks kind of made this match seem not as exciting. Right. You know, it was a good match. I think
all the drama was played out before WrestleMania.
It wasn't a bad match.
It was a straight up match. It wasn't no surprises, no real. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I know what you mean.
Because I was hoping to see, like, because AJ Lee's got a really big submission move. So does Paige. I was hoping to see them both lock up in their own submission moves in the middle of the ring. You know, one Bella Twin in the Black Widow, the other Bella Twins got Paige submission. Mm-hmm. I was hoping to see something like that. And, you know, what else could they do with them, with that group of girls? But it was, you know, it was an alright match. You know, I would have much rather probably seen like a bigger marquee Divas title match than to see that, because there was no title match for the Divas because Nikki was in that match and she wasn't. It wasn't for the Divas Championship, so. But it was an alright match. It wasn't great, but it was alright. Cena versus Rusev. I love that match.
Great match.
Again, the same thing with the whole Randy Orton thing. Like, my level of respect for John Cena skyrocketed after that. Mm-hmm. I hope he continues. Like, to me, that was his birth. Like, he is a wrestler now. Like, he's got to keep it up. Like,
put out a little surprise move last night.
Dude's been an entertainer, but he hasn't been a wrestler. He's an entertainer.
Right.
He just became a wrestler yesterday. Good for him. Like, I hope he keeps that up. Yeah. The springboard off the second rope into a stunner. Yeah. And I said I wanted to see somebody get stunned on WrestleMania, and it happened. And of course, it had to be John Cena that pulled it off. Right. Man, you know, I don't expect John Cena to ever spring off the second rope. Mm-hmm. That's something he's never done. I don't think.
I mean, he's done some things.
He's
off
jumped
the
off
the.
He's jumped off the turnbuckle
like that.
Yeah,
you know, that wasn't that didn't go too well.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
half-assed,
jumped off the turnbuckle and stuff like that. He does his little leg drop off the turnbuckle. Mm-hmm. But I've never seen him, you know, run up to springboard off like, you know, like you would expect someone like Chris Jericho or Jeff Hardy to do. Right. And this dude, he did it, and he did it flawlessly. I mean, to me, it was almost reminiscent of like when Jay Lethal does his finisher and he bounces back and hits a stunner. Right. To me, it was kind of like that. Like, but it's almost like you have to be more precise doing it this way, because if he fucked up, everybody would have seen it.
Yeah, everybody.
And he did it perfectly.
You only get one shot, man.
He did it perfectly, and I feel like maybe it's the chemistry with John Cena and Rusev. They've had a lot of matches recently. They've been kicking each other's asses. Maybe they should have more matches together, because their matches have been tight. And I feel like Rusev made John Cena look better. Yeah. And I just.
It was a good chemistry last night.
I've always kind of accepted John Cena as the face of the WWE, but I haven't been a really big fan of his. If he's gonna, you know, continue being this guy, I want to see more matches like that out of him. Right. So, bravo! I was really happy.
I still say though, they should have signed Kurt Angle.
Should have.
And put him in the match with Rusev. I mean, that place would have went ape shit, man.
That would have been like the only match that I could have seen that would have been better.
You know what I mean? You think about the wrestling in that one, you know.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Between that match and the Undertaker match, there was a segment where Triple H, Stephanie McMahon came out. They was bad mouthing everybody. Of course, The Rock had to come out and talk some shit.
Yeah.
Stephanie McMahon slaps The Rock, and he says, "Oh, I won't hit a woman, but I know somebody who will." Mm-hmm. And he brings out Ronda Rousey, and to me, that was huge. Like, because she's not involved with WWE. She's a UFC fighter. She's the, you know, everyone's saying she's the best female fighter ever. But the record she's breaking says that she could be the best fighter ever, male or female. I touched on it a little bit when I did an episode by myself, how I feel like, you know, when it comes to something like UFC, women and men should be compared to each other because of the equality in that. If they're the same weight, at least, I feel like if they're the exact same weight, they should be compared to the same. And so for that, Ronda Rousey should be considered to be the best ever. At least she could say that she's had the fastest tap out ever for a title defense, men or woman. And so to bring her out, to me, was kind of a respect thing. Like, yo, you know, bring her out. She did her little arm lock, cradle lock on Stephanie McMahon. And, you know, I was hoping to see her punch her or something. But
the crowd was kind of like,
yeah.
you know.
But
it's all right.
It was cool to see her, and I hope, you know, maybe they're alluding to her possibly doing something.
She'll definitely be doing some stuff with him.
That would be really tight. You know, there's been UFC people and there's been professional boxers and stuff that have done matches in the WWE that weren't that great. But I mean, if you're bringing in a girl that could easily just destroy any diva, and I don't know, have a rivalry against Stephanie McMahon, that would be great. So everybody would love to see her get beat down.
I mean, beat down too.
Beat down. I mean, she could bring out a whole group of bodyguards, because I feel like she could maybe take on Triple H. I don't know.
Yeah, that hip toss last night. Yeah.
I mean, she's a real life fighter, so you know, she's got stuff that some of these guys don't got. And I feel, you know, hey, you know, in a real life fight, she might be able to take out Triple H. I feel like she could, maybe. Next match, the Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt. How did you feel about that match?
It was, I'll put it to you like this. To me, I don't see why they had that match, because Bray Wyatt is already over. He's huge, okay?
Huge.
The match was slow. It wasn't as bad as the past two previous Undertaker matches in WrestleMania. You know, Brock, obviously, and CM Punk, them two matches wasn't really all that great.
Yeah, I feel like the novelty of just having the Undertaker in a match is starting to wear off.
Yeah.
And he didn't look good. Like, he looked like he was sick wrestling out there. I mean, some of it was probably...
I'm hoping it was for show.
Scripted.
Right, that he was just, you know...
He was supposed to look tired.
All lethargic and whatnot, man. It was just...
He didn't look good.
Nah.
He looked like he didn't belong in there.
You know. I'm glad he grew his hair out, though, because that damn mohawk shit...
Dude is like, okay, every year you wrestle one match.
Yeah.
So in the last 3 or 4 years, you've only wrestled 3 or 4 matches. And I'm starting to feel like maybe he's got some ring rust. He just didn't look good. He didn't look like he belonged anymore. Right. And I'm like, man,
I don't like this old...
Please retire.
Tired looking shit, man. You need to come back full force, or
so now he's
like Plate said, you know,
22-1.
Retire.
I'm not saying disappear. Dude could be a manager or something. But yeah, I mean, it's the Undertaker. One of the greatest ever. Some people say he's number 1. Some people say he's number 2 and Shawn Michaels is number 1. But either way, he's either number 1 or number 2 of all time. Yeah. And, like, you know, have one more epic match and just let it be your last one. Right. Because this one wasn't looking so good. And, I mean, Bray Wyatt had a great match for Bray Wyatt.
I think Undertaker should at least wrestle some more. I mean, there is a SmackDown, there is a Raw.
Yeah, I truly.
I mean,
though, and I've been an Undertaker hater for that reason, because I don't like the wrestlers that only come around once so often. I'm hoping that with Brock's new contract, maybe he'll actually be a little bit more involved.
Right.
You know, I just have been hating on the Undertaker, but now I'm starting to think maybe he doesn't have it in him anymore. I feel like he's got like that Brett Favre syndrome where he sits at home and he's like, man, I can't wait to wrestle again.
Yeah.
And then he gets in the ring and is like, man, why am I out here?
Right. Because, I mean, 2 minutes into the match, he looked like he was tuckered out. Like, and he was in control. You know?
Yeah. I mean, the first couple minutes of the match were a little bit exciting, but then after that, dude's...
Yeah. So, like I said, I really didn't understand that match. Like, Bray didn't need that.
Yeah.
He didn't need that.
Bray could have been in any match and made it great.
Right.
They could have had 8 guys in that Intercontinental title match. And Bray could have played a huge part and made it great. Right. I mean, any match. I love Bray Wyatt, and you know, I just, like I said before, hello? Yeah, we're getting there.
Pausing for the cause.
Oh no, you're gonna be on YouTube. Just letting you know we're recording. But yeah, we're almost done. Okay? Maybe like 10 more minutes.
Hey, what is this?
You what? Alright. Yeah, we're almost done. Alright? Love you too. I'm trying so hard not to crack up. Because the last time when I made a video and she called, I was sitting here making faces on the phone. So I didn't want her thinking I'm sitting here laughing at her while I'm talking on the phone with her. Anyway, last thing, the main event.
The main event. Now, I thoroughly enjoyed watching Brock beat the brakes off of Roman Reigns. And then, where I was watching this, at the same time, me and my homeboy B was like, there's got to be a turnaround. This is about the time they're outside the ring. And then Roman Reigns pushes Brock Lesnar into the pole and blood just starts pouring out of his head. Yeah. I was like, here's the turnaround.
There it is.
And there was no way Roman Reigns was going to, just go out like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, he took 3 F5s.
I don't know.
How many suplexes was it? 10?
Last I recall, there was 8, but there had to have been some.
It got up to 10. I know it got up to 10. I quit
counting.
Yeah.
But the one thing I noticed about Roman Reigns is I don't know if it's like, if he was really getting destroyed or if he just got some weird, like, ability to make his eyes look glazed over, but he looked like he was dying. Like, there was some drama in that match. They kept doing a close-up on his face, and his pupils glazed over. And it was a good match.
It was good.
It was good.
Now, let's talk about the outcome of the match. Now, Brock is beating the brakes off of Roman Reigns. Then it turned over. Roman Reigns started beating the hell out of Brock. Here comes the last F5, and all of a sudden, Seth Rollins' music hits.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is perfect there.
Yeah.
And
I was surprised about the timing because it turned the match into a triple threat match. Because I was wondering, I'm like, are they going to kick Roman Reigns out the ring?
Right.
Because usually, every time somebody cashes in, it's after the match.
Right.
And then it's just a one-on-one straight-up match. So there was still a possibility that Seth Rollins could lose. It was a triple threat match. Mm-hmm. These two dudes could have beat the fuck out of him and kept their match going.
Right.
So to me, it was kind of cool to add that.
And if you think about it, him losing to Randy Orton, something had to give.
Yeah.
Something had to give.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I could set it up.
I love the outcome because if you think about it, it saves face for Roman Reigns. You know, if he would have won the title, you know, the backlash and, you know, Brock, it just pumps him up more. And now that he signed his contract, you know, it's really on
he's
now.
Coming back.
It's really on now.
Because I had said last week, I said, listen, I'm rooting for Brock, but I don't think he's going to win it because I don't think he's coming back. And now we know for a fact that he is.
Right.
My whole thing is this. Randy Orton beat Seth Rollins. So there's a future title match right there. Hey, I beat you the same night you won the title, so I need a match.
Right.
You're going to have Roman Reigns. Hey, I stood toe-to-toe with Brock Lesnar. I had to do gushing.
Yeah.
I need a match. There could be some big matches.
Yes.
Brock Lesnar's going to get his rematch. Maybe.
I'm thinking.
Because John Cena, Cena did get his.
You know what they should do?
Fatal 4-Way?
Extreme Rules, Fatal 4-Way.
Extreme Rules.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, how nuts would that be? You have to do it. You have to do it.
Give Brock a reason to not show up for 2 months. I'm just saying. I hope that his new contract, he's going to be more involved in Raw.
I want to see
SmackDown.
him just like put him on Raw.
You
Let
know,
him fight.
He's not the champ anymore.
Let him go through people. Now that he's not champ, oh man, he's really going to put whoopings on people.
Yeah.
Yeah. But overall, WrestleMania was good. It was very good.
It was a good WrestleMania.
You know,
everything I hoped it would be, it was for the most part.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So on that note, are we doing a show tomorrow? We're not doing a show tomorrow.
Can't record tomorrow. This is this week's.
This is yeah.
Yeah, this is this week's big show. Next week, we're gonna do our first bitch ass of the month.
We're gonna do our first bitch ass of the month.
What I'm thinking we're gonna do is we'll do our regular show, and then we'll do a second bonus episode that I'll put out 2 days later.
Yeah.
That'll be bitch ass of the month. Because we usually range between 15 and 25 minutes when we record, and I don't want to add an extra 5 to 10 minutes on top of that.
Right.
So we'll start putting out maybe 2 videos every week.
Right.
One that's our main video, one that's our extra video. So we got the bitch ass of the month award that we're gonna put out next week. We got a food review that we're planning on doing in 2 weeks, and we're gonna just keep coming up with new and better things to start doing. And we're gonna start where we are at. We're at full throttle now. Starting next week. You know, every week we're gonna be putting out 2 videos. We have our craft down. We've learned the last month, and we are ready to give some quality videos.
And weather permitting, hopefully it'll start warming up soon.
Yeah.
We'll be doing a lot of, on location stuff.
Yeah.
Taking our field trips. Getting ready for summertime. Summertime's gonna be awesome, y'all. Yeah. That's when it really, really starts cracking. So. Well, thank you for tuning in. Dustin Plates, Mango Asan, Taco Homies.
Taco Homies.
Till next time, y'all. Peace.